Living Museum, Dragon Lily at the Archaeological Museum. It's late at night in Cairo, Egypt. The sun has long set, leaving only the stars shining bright in the night sky. Most people are fast asleep, including 12-year-old Lily and her stuffed dragon, Charlie. But deep within the city, something extraordinary is about to unfold. In the heart of Cairo, nestled amidst the bustling city life, stands the Grand Archaeological Museum, home to countless artifacts and treasures from Egypt's rich past. Among its vast collection, there exists an ancient statue of a fierce dragon, its emerald eyes gleaming with otherworldly wisdom. For centuries, this statue has silently watched over the museum, its presence known only to a few. But tonight, under the cloak of darkness, the statue will awaken. Meanwhile, in a small apartment above the museum, Lily stirs in her sleep. And beknownst to her, a mystical event is about to change her life forever. As the clock strikes midnight, a magical transformation takes place. The exhibits in the museum, particularly the ancient statues, including the dragon statue, come to life. However, they have their own agendas and aren't too keen on being disturbed. Suddenly, the ground beneath Lily's bed begins to shake. Startled, she wakes up, her heart pounding in her chest. Little does she know that this is just the beginning of her incredible adventure. The mighty dragon, whose statue resides in the museum, stretches its colossal wings, stirring from its eternal slumber. With a deafening roar that echoes through the silent halls, the dragon takes flight, its emerald eyes gleaming with power. As it soars into the night sky, the dragon heads straight towards the museum. Its powerful presence sends shivers down the spines of those who witness its flight. The dragon lands gracefully atop the museum, its massive form casting an eerie shadow over the entrance. With a determined nod, it turns toward the door and pushes it open. The heavy wooden door creaks ominously as it swings inward, revealing the darkened interior of the museum. Inside, various artifacts and exhibits begin to stir. The mummies, once preserved in their eternal slumber, now move with a disconcerting grace. Their eyes, once vacant, now glow with an eerie light. The ancient statues come to life, their stone bodies animated by an unseen force. Each exhibit seems to have a will of its own, driven by motives unknown. As the dragon makes its way through the museum, it becomes clear that these exhibits are not merely coming to life. They are awakening with their own agendas, their actions driven by a collective desire to escape the confines of the museum. The dragon, however, remains resolute in its purpose, determined to unravel the mysteries of the museum and perhaps find a way to return to its own time. The dragon cautiously approaches the glass case containing the Golden Scarab, its emerald eyes gleaming with determination. With a gentle nudge of its snout, it manages to break the glass, releasing the scarab. The freed scarab, now buzzing with newfound life, flies away into the darkness, its metallic wings making a faint buzzing sound. The dragon, sensing the disturbance, lifts its head, its ears perked, listening intently. It can hear the distant buzzing of the Golden Scarab, indicating that it is still alive. A low growl rumbles in the dragon's throat. It watches intently as the sarcophagus lid slowly begins to rise, revealing the mummy within. The mummy, wrapped in its ancient linens, stirs, its eyes glowing with an eerie green light. With a sudden burst of energy, the mummy rises from the sarcophagus, its desiccated fingers twitching. The dragon remains unfazed, its gaze fixed on the mummy. It lets out a soft snort, its nostrils flaring as it observes the mummy's movements. The mummy, now fully awake, begins to shamble toward the exit, its eyes set on the dragon. A sense of urgency and malice radiates from the creature. The dragon, sensing the threat, takes a step back, its tail swishing from side to side. It keeps a watchful eye on the mummy, ready to react if necessary. The mummy draws closer, its decaying flesh hanging loosely from its bones. It hisses, revealing sharp fangs. The dragon, unyielding, stares back, its emerald eyes blazing with defiance. The two ancient beings seem caught in a battle of wills. Lily, still unaware of the unfolding events, continues sleeping peacefully in her bed. The rhythmic rise and fall of her chest indicating her innocence to the chaos that surrounds her. The dragon, seeking to distract the mummy, lets out a loud roar, momentarily diverting its attention. Using this opportunity, the dragon quickly darts behind a nearby pillar, concealing itself from the mummy's view. The mummy, confused by the sudden noise, turns toward the source of the commotion, its eyes narrowed. As the mummy investigates the noise, the dragon emerges from behind the pillar and heads for the exit, eager to escape the museum and perhaps uncover more clues about its existence. Outside the museum, the cool night air greets the dragon as it takes flight once again. It soars into the sky, its emerald eyes scanning the city below. The dragon circles above Cairo, searching for any sign or trace of the Golden Scarab. With each passing moment, its determination to find the artifact grows. Meanwhile, inside the museum, the mummy, now aware of the dragon's presence, begins to chase after it. Desperate to escape the clutches of the relentless mummy, the dragon dives toward the bustling streets of Cairo, weaving through the ancient buildings with ease. Its knowledge of the city's winding paths guiding its way. The mummy, hot on its tail, crashes through the museum walls, emerging into the night with a furious roar. It lunges toward the dragon, its decaying hands reaching out to grab it. The dragon, agile and swift, dodges the mummy's grasp, narrowly escaping its clutches. It darts between the narrow alleys, hoping to lose its pursuer in the labyrinthine streets. The chase continues, turning into an exhilarating game of cat and mouse among the ancient ruins. The dragon, realizing the danger posed by the mummy, decides to seek refuge in the museum once again. It turns around, readying itself for another confrontation. Upon entering the museum, the dragon finds itself face to face with the mummy. The two ancient beings circle each other, their eyes locked in a fierce battle of wills. The dragon, determined to defend itself, puffs out its chest, letting out a menacing growl. The mummy, driven by its own agenda, advances steadily, its decaying flesh hanging in tattered strips. As the mummy closes in, the dragon unleashes a torrent of fire, engulfing the mummy in its fiery embrace. The flames dance around the mummy, causing it to recoil in pain. The dragon, sensing victory, roars triumphantly, its emerald eyes gleaming with power. However, the mummy, though wounded, is not yet defeated. With a final surge of strength, it lunges toward the dragon, its sharp nails extended. The dragon, taken aback by the mummy's resilience, hastily retreats, narrowly dodging the mummy's attack. The mummy, weakened by the fire, collapses to the ground, its movements becoming sluggish. The dragon, cautious but determined, approaches the fallen mummy, its emerald eyes gleaming with resolve. As the dragon gets closer, it notices a small amulet around the mummy's neck. The dragon, intrigued, reaches out with its snout and nudges the amulet. With a soft click, the amulet detaches from the mummy's collarbone, revealing a hidden compartment. Inside the compartment, there is a small scroll. The dragon, with its sharp claws, carefully unfolds the scroll, its eyes scanning the ancient hieroglyphics. As it reads the scroll, a realization dawns on its face. It understands that the mummy was not driven by malevolence, but rather a misguided attempt to protect the museum's treasures. The dragon, filled with newfound respect, lets out a soft sigh, acknowledging the mummy's noble intentions. Just then, the first rays of sunlight begin to peek through the museum windows. The dragon, sensing the approaching dawn, knows it must return to the safety of its statue form before sunrise. With one last glance at the mummy, it turns and heads towards its statue. As the sun rises, bathing the museum in golden light, the dragon's form begins to fade. It rushes towards its statue, merging back into its stone prison. The museum falls silent once again, the exhibits frozen in their eternal slumber. The only evidence of the night's events is the faint smell of burnt linen and the lingering echo of the dragon's roar. And so, the legend of the dragon lily at the archaeological museum continues, whispered among the artifacts and statues, waiting for the next full moon when the magic might stir once more. And in the quiet hours of the night when the moon is full and the shadows are long, one can almost hear the echo of the dragon's roar as it awakens, ready to protect its domain from any who dare disturb the peace of the ancient relics.